Hey everybody, it's Mike from Fishing the Mid-South, and today we are going to go over the brand new Chaos Pro 50 reel from Piscifun. Now, in the box we've got a instruction manual which is longer and more detailed than anything I've seen from them previously. You get the one piece of foam there, you get the big block of foam, you have the little tool to take it apart, and you've got the reel, and that's it for what's in the box. There's no bag like we had with the Alios 400 for like a little reel bag that most people never use anyway. So there we go. Here's the specs on it. 6+1 ball bearings, 5.3 to 1 gear ratio, 24.8 inches per turn on retrieve, the max drag of 25 pounds. It says it weighs 12.2 pounds, mono capacity 306 yards of 12 pound, or braid 262 yards of 40 pound. So it does come in black and gold, and let's see, either right or left hand. So I'm going to look at their website here real quick and try to give you their highlights. One piece CNC precision machining, solid brass gear system, magnetic brake, and 25-pound star drag system. The upgraded 4.3-inch long handle. Not sure how that's an upgrade from what, but okay. 6+1 sealed stainless steel bearings, level wind system, and of course the bait clicker. And let's see if there's anything really exciting here. Yeah, no. Same stuff. Now, one thing that I'll tell you right off the bat is we've got 4 rivets here at the bottom that connect the reel foot to the frame. That is, I believe, different than the Chaos XS50. I believe there's only 2 points. But I will be comparing the two side by sides later, so there's that. We can talk about that later. The clicker is down here at the bottom, and okay, I would say it's louder than the Chaos XS, but probably not as loud as the Alios. Of course, you know, level wind system, all that fun stuff. The big change, of course, is that they have that magnetic brake on this. And we're going to go ahead and take it apart. So I've been interested in this. I saw it came out. I don't know exactly when it came out, but I just saw it very recently. So the first step we're going to do is we're going to take off this retaining screw that holds this little piece in place, and that keeps the nut from backing off. So we'll go ahead and pull that little guy off. Maybe. Ow! Okay. So they put that on there nice and tight. Okay. Now take that off. Take off the handle. It is counterbalanced. And we do have this washer here. And you can see that the ears point towards the star drag. We'll just take it off like so. And then we will take off the star drag. So as you heard, it does have a clicker. Clicky points in the star drag. There's a star drag. Got the little piece that clicks against it. And put that in there. And then we've got two beveled washers. So this one is beveled bent towards the other washer. And the second washer, when it comes off, and it will, whether it wants to or not. So it is also, interestingly enough, I've never seen this, it is also facing downward. That is odd. They usually will be back to back. So they spring differently, and they're usually next to each other. And then of course you got the flat washer. So again, interesting. Okay, and then we can start taking off the side plate. Loosen the thumb screws. And of course, this will be your spool tension knob. Nothing really there except for the bearing and the retaining clip. And then we will pull the side plate off. Okay, so with the side plate off, you get your little E-clip that holds on the worm gear drive bar. You have the spool, which has a shielded bearing on each end. And then you get the little gear here that works with the clicker mechanism. And then in here you can see, of course, the magnetic braking system. And as you tighten or turn it up, it moves the magnets closer in. And there's your thumb bar, of course. Okay. Set all these pieces aside. And we will take apart the goodies. Actually, before I take the goodies apart. Yeah, okay. I was checking to see how sealed up that it was. It is not sealed. So you're not going to keep water out of there at all. Not that these conventional style reels tend to have any kind of sealing in there, but this is wide open. Now, of course, the area that we're talking about is actually going to be in here, so they, it's not like it's water is just going to like jump right in. Okay. Now let's get this little guy to come off. And there we are. You get, again, that bearing in there that we already saw, and we have this bearing, as well as another bearing here. I believe that's going to be multiple bearings. The white stuff you see is, of course, grease. So as we come out of here, we've got this center piece. So there's our bearing. And here is our center piece. It does not appear to be one way. Yeah, it does, actually. So the end that has, it's kind of flush, that goes inward. And then you've got a recess here that goes on the outward side. And then you've got what looks like a needle bearing in here. Okay. So we'll slap that back in there and slap that bearing back in place. Just so we kind of got everything right there together. Now, let's see what we've got here. So one thing I am seeing, I think I'm seeing, nope. It looks metallic, it is still plastic. So this piece, this collar, is still plastic. You got your main gear and your pinion gear here. That's going to be your mechanism that engages and disengages the pinion gear and allows it to free spool, etc. Okay, so all that seems pretty stout in there, actually. Now let's go ahead and pull off this gear. So you've got this little gear here. Then you get one of your drag washers, carbon fiber. So let's go down here. And what this guy does is, as we come in and put it in free spool, this kind of locks it in place. And then as we turn, that kicks it back into place. So that's what that's for. Okay. So in here we have one carbon fiber, then a regular round exterior washer, another carbon fiber drag washer, then we've got a keyed, has those dog ears on it, and then we have another carbon fiber washer, drag washer, and then we've got this little pressure plate. So that's kind of the inner workings to this. I mean, you get, there's design here, obviously, but there's your pinion gear. You got a bearing under there. And then you got, the spring-loading mechanism here that is definitely different than on the Chaos XS50. Get all my little pieces back into place there. Set this little guy back on here. Get all everything lined back up. Everything fell into place perfect. Okay. And then we'll slap this guy back together. Put in our here. So that has to line up with the pinion gear. It does. Here we go. Get that closed up. And again, the flat end. So you got a few millimeters in here before you get to the ridges. So the flat end goes inward. And then slap that bearing back in there. And so these screws each have a little washer on them, like so. And then this one has its washer as well, which I think I just stuck back on there. So as you can see from the grease all over, it's not sparingly lubricated. It's got a nice amount of lubrication in there. We got that all back together. Now we're going to do a little hoping and praying because I don't normally take apart magnetic brakes. So these screws also have a little washer. Thought that would allow the side plate to come off on the other side. It does not. I'm a little worried about loosening these up. So that's going to bring the magnet piece off. Okay, so yeah, there it goes. So it does, these two screws are in fact what holds the side plate on. It just didn't come off easily. And that's because, I'll show you here. Tighten two magnet screws back up just so we've got them done. So as we flip this over, here's one of my two screws. And there's the other one. And let me get this little washer off of here so that, well, it seems pretty good in place. So, okay. So this is going to be, this should be the clicker right here. So when we put that in, then we've got the this little gear comes in, and so this gear is what rubs against this little metal piece to make the clicking sound, and then of course this gear drives the worm gear. And I will not take apart the magnetic system because, yeah, because I don't want to. I don't want to break it. I don't want to have it put it back together. So put this little guy back in place, like so. Okay, little snaps on there. And like I say, these both have a washer on them. And are they the same? They are the same. Like I said, this one, the washer stayed in place, so it made it easier to remember which screw went to which one. Tighten that down nice. Tighten this down nicely. And then, of course, that is your button. Grab our spool, put him back in place. So the spool is, I'm going to guess, anodized aluminum. Like I said, we got the 1, 2 bearings here. We have 1, 2, 3, so there's 5 bearings. And the needle bearing, that was 6. Did I miss one? Oh, there's going to be one in the, sorry, with the worm gear. Okay, so slap this little guy back on. And this is where we have to make sure that this hole right here lines up with that peg. And then did we get it? So that peg goes in there, and then we line up the other screws, the thumb screws here. And we'll tighten these little guys down. Just snugging them down. We're not trying to hulk on them or anything, because the idea is that they are in fact thumb screws. The ability to take it apart in the water if you need to, but really, do we? I think that's more of a days gone by kind of thing, but okay. Okay, put on our flat washer. That goes against the bearing when I don't drop it. And then we've got our two. See, I think these have to be, yeah. These should not be facing, they should not nest in each other. They should be separate. They should be backwards to each other. So that's what gives that springiness. Okay, now let's take this look I had here. And this is the part that has the clicky in it for the star drag. Now when you're putting these back together, just kind of hold the spool, tighten it down, ouch, maybe a little more than I need to, because you want to make sure that you've got enough room that your spool, that your handle and this little spring washer, that they are sitting firmly against. So you get a shoulder here on that, the main shaft, so that these can go all the way down to the bottom of that shoulder, or the top of the shoulder, whatever. So that if you don't do that, if you leave your drag too loose, then what happens is you tighten your star drag down once you get it back together, and then your handle is loose. And we don't want a loose handle. This, don't really think it has, it's directional in any way, but who knows. I'll put the prettier side out, if there is a prettier side. That's why they had it locked down so bad. Okay, let's see. Go up one, then tighten it. Yeah, it just doesn't seem to fit real perfectly on this particular reel, right? It doesn't seem like there's just enough teeth here. It's going to be a little too loose or a little too tight, so we'll hook this down and get this lined up. There we go. And that actually is a nice little clicker. A nice sound to it. So, first impressions. It seems very well built, actually. You get the 4 rivets down here. I think it's really nice. It's gonna, and that's metal. That's metal. It's metal. It's all metal. Even the side plates, which isn't surprising, I guess. Your line guide is plastic with, I believe there's a metal insert in there. And overall, I mean, it's smooth. Now, I have not used this. You saw me take it out of the box. And that really was me taking it out of the box. It has the power handle. It's got all that. Of course, you can loosen up the drag now. Get that all backed up. And yeah, it's a nice little guy. In case you're looking at this, wondering what that is, that is their logo. That's the Piscifun logo. It's just kind of upside down right now. And that is how you say it, Piscifun, as opposed to some people call it, well, I won't say what some people call it. So, yeah, the spool tension knob tightens up nicely. Again, you get the magnetic brake. That is certainly a new feature over the Chaos XS50. I believe it's got a little stronger drag. I'll have to check that out to make sure. I believe they both, I'm trying to remember. I know it had a brass pinion gear. I don't remember if the main gear was brass or not. But like I say, I'll go ahead. I'll do a comparison between this and the Chaos XS50 in another video. I just wanted to get this out because it's brand new, and I went looking on YouTube, as I think we all do when we're looking at a new piece of equipment, to say, hey, is this what is this, and is it any good, or what can I find out about it? Because Piscifun's website does not have the most detailed information. Again, the big things you want to know is braid capacity at 0.33 millimeter is going to give you 262 yards. And again, 12 pound. Well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense now, does it? So the mono capacity is 306 yards. The braid capacity is 262 yards. But they're both 0.33 millimeter. And that doesn't make a lot of sense. I guess braid does, move around a little more. So I can see how you would get more. I would think you would get more braid capacity than you would mono at the same diameter. So I don't know. I do not know the answer to that. Is there anything on this side? Nope. And there you go. This is showing you that it is the Pro Black and Gold right hand. They are made in China, all that fun stuff. You can find all their information at their website at piscifun.com. Thanks for watching, folks. We will see you guys on the next one.